Hey everyone! Welcome to the Backseat Boys. And we are your hosts, John Labrador Espadal.
I'm Alex Gray L. Australia.
And I am Prince Carlo Vitora, and we are
The
The
Backseat
Backseat
Boys. Today, we're diving into something that has totally changed how we listen, learn, and laugh. And that is the podcast. Now, here's a question for you, Calvin. What do you think is a podcast?
I think bro podcast is where a person or a group of people sharing his or her ideas on things such as food, places, news, and something like that.
Maybe? Well, a podcast is a digital program available on the internet, kind of like a radio show on demand. You can listen anywhere, anytime, whether you're chilling at home, whether you're stuck in the traffic, or pretending to be productive at work.
But bro, where can I find a podcast?
Well, podcasts can be found in Spotify, Apple Podcast, TikTok, YouTube, and many more.
Also, basically, you can find podcasts in the internet.
Yes. Okay, then podcasts are released in episodes, just like your favorite Netflix series. Except instead of binge watching, you're binge listening. Okay, that.
Also, basically, instead of the genres of the podcast, like the horror, thriller, you have a certain topic.
Yes.
Okay, so
So from what I've said earlier, you can listen podcasts anywhere, and the best part, you can subscribe to your favorite shows so that every time a new episode drops, it just pops up on your feed, kind of like following your favorite TikToker or YouTuber.
okay, so can you share us like key features of a podcast?
Okay. Okay. So there are five key features of a podcast. First is on-demand content. Listeners decide when and how long they want to listen. Second is digital distribution, shared via RSS feeds, streaming services, and podcast apps. Number three is variety of topics. Anything under the sun, science, entertainment, lifestyle, or personal stories.
Okay, so basically, like, so for the audience to not get bored, you should have a certain type of topics,
Yes.
not focus on one thing. Okay.
And Prince, do you know that podcasts are popular?
Really?
Yes. It is because they allow multitasking. They build intimacy and connection. They provide education and entertainment. Just like what we're doing right now,
I
right?
think you
Oh.
missed something, stuff, key features of a podcast. You stopped at variety of topics. What are the last two?
Oh, so there's wait.
The last
So, oh, the last two. The last two is accessible and convenient. Just like work on phones, computers, and even smart speakers. Like you can listen to the speaker. Okay, and number five, the last one is low cost production. Anyone with a microphone and an internet connection can start their own show.
Okay, so basically, what we're doing right now is a podcast.
Oh yeah.
So there are certain types. I believe there are certain types of podcasts, and we will go to that later. You will know what type of podcast we are doing right now. But that's what your question earlier after that was why are podcasts
Popular. Yeah. What do you
Because,
think? What do you think?
I believe because right now with the technology we have, you can access podcasts with
Yes.
your phone, laptop, anywhere. Basta you have internet. That's what I think.
My podcasts are famous. Like,
Because they
Yes.
provide entertainment as well. Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to the history of podcast.
Okay. So for the history podcast, okay, so when did podcast originally start? I have no idea. To be
Okay,
honest.
yeah, me too.
question. So based from my research, podcast was developed in pre-2004. Before podcast existed, there were internet radio shows and audio blogging, people posting recorded discussions or diaries online. However, there wasn't yet an easy way to automatically download or subscribe to new episodes.
So, in addition, I just want to add that I want you guys to think of a podcast as a pre recorded audio or video series that you choose to download or stream whenever you want. And for internet radio broadcasts or shows, these are traditional radio broadcasts but uses the internet as its delivery method instead of radio waves. So, that's it. And I'm going to show it to the screen a simple table to compare podcasts and internet radios from before. Okay, so here it is.
And in 2004, when two innovators, Adam Curry,
Where?
Adam,
Adam Curry.
Adam Curry.
Curry,
Adam
a
Curry.
former MTV host, and Dave Winner, a software developer, created a program called iPodder. This software allowed users to download internet radio broadcasts directly to their iPads, making it easy to listen offline. This new process gave birth to the term podcasting, and that is where podcasts uh, begin.
Okay, so the two innovators, Adam Curry and Dave Winner, created a program called iPodder, and the word podcast originated there.
Yes,
Podcast.
that's right.
Okay, so clarification. I think John Love missed this part when he was doing his research. So journalist Ben Hammersley coined the word in a 2004 article for the Guardian newspaper. He was brainstorming names for his new medium of internet-based audio shows and combined iPod and the dominant MP3 player at the time and broadcast. So it was Ben Hammersley who coined the word in 2004 for his article, The Guardian newspaper.
And fun fact, bro, the name podcast comes from the combination of two words. First is the iPad.
From the two innovators.
Yes, iPad, which is the Apple's portable music player at that time. And second is the broadcast, referring to the radio or TV transmission. And that's where podcast name comes from.
Okay, because I think iPod was popular back then. I had an iPod before. iPod. That was
Yeah, me
small.
too. I got that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's very portable.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm getting the. Yeah. Next, what is it?
And in 2005 to 2010, that is the rise of podcast. So based from my research, in 2005, Apple officially added podcast supports to iTunes. Are you listening?
I'm not familiar with iTunes. I think that's the Spotify version of.
iTunes where you can listen something. This allows millions of users to easily find, download, and subscribe to podcasts. Well, the same year, podcasts began appearing in news and entertainment platforms. The word podcast was even declared the word of the year by the New Oxford American Dictionary.
That was in 2005. I was somewhere in 2005 to 2010. We'll just show that to the viewers.
And during this period, early podcasters began building loyal audiences, proving that anyone could be a broadcaster. And in 2010, 2000, and to 2019, the podcast boom.
Okay, so I think that's the peak. That's the prime of the.
That's where the podcast
like rise. Okay.
got famous, you know. Okay.
Not really rise because that was the 2000.
No, that's where the podcast got famous.
Okay. 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 I'm getting it now. So we have the podcast in 2004. Then
2004 to 2010.
No, 2000. The pre-rise. The pre-podcast was 2004. And then the rise of podcast was 2005 to 2010. And the boom of the podcast was 2010 to 2000.
From 2010 to 2019.
Okay, I get it. Okay, now, what about the current?
The current. So based from my research, 2020s to present, the age of expansion. Today, podcasting is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Google have heavily invested in exclusive podcast content. Podcasts now include video versions, interactive features, and even live audience recordings. According to global statistics, there are over 5 million active podcasts and more than 150 million episodes worldwide.
I also noticed, bro, na this this present time, the rise of podcast really booms. Because the one I showed you earlier in your house.
Ah, yeah.
Like there are people like they're making parodies of podcasts, diba? And also, yeah, because it's very convenient and beautiful. Like people like us, no, we are students. We are students from USTP, and during classes, when we find the lesson like boring na or we can't really catch up, we have a lot of conversations in the back. That's why we're called boys in the back, trivia lang. So, di ba, the conversation sa classroom na random lang yun.
Sa atawa lang.
Oo, sa atawa lang. Tapos, what if we bring that sa podcast world? That's what our brand is about. So,
Okay, next, and in conclusion, podcasts have become a mainstream medium used by educators, journalists, and even celebrities, and everyday people to share their idea and stories. And that's all for the history of podcast.
thank you lang, bro. So, as I mentioned earlier, I have mentioned there are types of podcasts. Do you have any idea? Do you have any something for us that relates to the types of podcasts? Do you have any types of podcasts with you? 'Cause I have noticed that there are podcasts like interview podcasts, conversational podcasts, educational
Okay,
podcasts.
good question.
Alright, so now we've gone through the history, let's talk about the fun part. The different types of podcasts. Do you guys have a knowledge about the different types of podcasts?
Well, from what I have learned before, I know there's a lot of types of podcasts.
Yeah.
But I only know two, which is the conversational and educational.
The same with what I mentioned earlier, like what I think we're doing right now is a conversation, and at the same time, education. So that's what I
Yeah, it's good guys that you have knowledge about the different types of podcasts. So do you guys know that there are 8 types of different types of podcasts?
No, we only know two.
But
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope that what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
mentioned right now is-
The two mentioned is part of the 8 types of
Okay,
podcasts.
that's
It's
good.
good to guys have knowledge about it. Yeah, let's talk about the types of podcasts.
So what's the first one?
So the first one we have interview podcast. These are shows where the host invites guests, experts, influencers, or just ordinary people with interesting stories.
Filipinos are really
that Joe
super
Rogan
talented.
experience.
They have
Oh,
that
Joe
feel for
Rogan.
kicking,
Yeah.
but
You get
a lot
it.
of stuff they just miss.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
I
know.
think
You're
Yeah,
familiar
it's
with
also
it.
really
Sir
amazing how many.
mentioned that with us.
Or
So
you
it's
guys,
basically you're getting a guest, and then you can
Yeah.
interview the guest one-on-one based on his or her experiences. or-
yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's all about sharing experiences and perspectives in a casual, real conversation. So yeah, if you could interview anyone, who would it be and why?
To be honest, I'll go first. Okay, so-
Yeah.
So, if I'm given a chance to interview someone, I would like to interview Willa.
You know, Ethan, nakada stories.
Yeah.
Oh.
But ako, do you know who would you interview if you have a chance? Anyone?
I would interview Bongbong Marcos.
Random. Why?
Yeah, why?
Because I want to ask why.
Or you want to ask, like, what is his plans for our country? Something like that.
Ah, okay.
Ako, I think I want to interview Michael Jackson.
Why?
I just want to know, like, his experiences because di ba
Oh,
he was a
yes.
black guy
Black guy.
before, and then he like transitioned to. No, to be honest, no,
Michael Jackson is only black, the black person.
to be,
What do you mean?
like, to be honest right now, I want to interview Charis Penko. You know,
Charlie Pengo.
Yeah, I know
That's
that
the singer.
person.
yeah, the singer, because when you watch right now he's a, but before, di ba, she was, do you know Charis Penko, the greatest singer, a great singer? Like she has a wonderful vocals, and then she was interviewed. She was like going all over the world because of her voice, and not just her voice, but her talent. And then I suggest you guys watch One Last Time.
Oh, that.
ASAP. She
Yes.
sang that. There's
Oh.
like a lot of good singers in her back.
One last time or one moment?
I one moment.
Ah!
One last time. Yeah, Ariana Grande. Yeah, one moment in time. You know that song?
Yes, yes.
Like, did you watch that video? I should
Before,
watch it.
before.
Watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah, good one. One last time. One moment in time. When she sang that, the people behind her, like all of them are good singers in the Philippines. But when she sang that part, like she really ate that stage, you know. And she was only 16 years old at that time. So that was 16 years old. And I just want to interview like a heartfelt conversation her, with him right now to like her what was
His experiences or
his experiences and his reasons for transforming because I believe that he took medications for his voice to change and I think that based from what I see that changed her his voice. I'm just getting so proud of the pronouns. What about you? What about you? Who would you interview?
I would like to interview. Do you know good about Batang like who's Batang Who's Batang Yeah, are you familiar with her?
I've heard Batang before, right?
Ah,
It's like a call sign.
Yeah, I love his story. I would, I want to interview him because yeah, his story is so very interesting. Like, what, like
Is that a real person? Like you're just
yeah, no, it's a person
Okay, okay.
from America.
America? Batubatan?
Yeah, yeah.
You're just
Okay, guys, let's
you
go.
mentioned it before. I just want to clarify. Charisse Peng Peng ko, one moment in time, not one last time. I suggest you watch that. One moment in time, Charisse Peng Peng ko, ASAP. Watch
Yeah,
that.
that's a good movie, guys.
So now let's move on.
Interesting.
Let's move on.
What do you mean? What movie?
Okay, guys, let's move on to the.
We're just making.
That's the first,
second type of-
That's the first type.
first type
Okay,
of
okay.
yeah the interview podcast, and the second one we have a conversational or co-hosted podcast. This is where two or
Conversational.
Not conversion.
oh conversational.
Conversational.
Sorry about that. So the second one we have conversational, sorry, or co-hosted podcast. This is where two or more hosts chat about different topics, usually
so-
with humor, good vibes.
Like what we're doing right
yeah,
now.
we're doing right now.
Okay, I get it.
Okay. Yeah, for example, include two bears,
Wake up.
one cave, or
Do you put
call
on
her
clothes
daddy.
to go into the house, or do you go into your underwear and make a cup
Okay,
of
we're gonna
coffee?
show the.
Put a
we'll
robe
show
on.
the- here's-
Yeah,
Editor, show the.
Do you have a rope?
example. Okay, tara.
it feels like you're hanging out with friends, super relatable and fun. Like, yeah,
So basically, just like us, a group of friends talking about
yes,
something.
yes, exactly.
Okay. So it's very much what we're doing right now for the audience watching. Okay, so next.
So, yeah, that's the second one. And the third one is the educational podcast, like you mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah,
Educational.
that's the two that we know.
Okay, you know. Yeah, these are perfect for curious minds. They explain concept, teach lessons, and make learning fun, like TED Talks daily or stuff you should know.
And basically, what we're doing right now, because we're showing the viewers how to structure and how easy it is to start a podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So basically, its purpose is to inform and educate the listeners in accessible way. Okay, so since it's educational, from the
Yes,
word itself, to educate.
Understandable.
Okay. That's the third.
Yeah, the third.
What's our next?
So the next one is we have narrative or storytelling podcast. If you guys love K-drama or mysteries, this one for you, right? These shows tell stories, either fictional like Welcome
Stumbling
or Night
is,
Vale,
I do not
or
know
real
why
life
some
like
doors work and
serial.
others do not.
It's like watching
I
a
do
movie,
not know
but
why
with
my
your
phone
imagination, like your
Okay, so
imagination.
I'm just gonna give like the narrator or like the person
yeah, it's exactly
narrate the
Like storytelling.
storytelling and then
your imagination.
so the audience will be the ones who imagine it for themselves.
Yeah,
Like that.
exactly.
So can you give us an example?
Give an example.
Like the narrative.
From what you've said earlier, that it's a drama.
Yeah, like when you watch drama, like you imagine Okay, so can you give us a scenario about that?
I think I can give one. But
Can you please?
no. I forgot the
scenario.
title. I'm not good with it. I'm not really good with names. Like earlier, I messed up the song. But basically, there's a. I will show it for the a podcast where what's in the podcast like stories, something like that. I'm not really familiar because that's not really my focus.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's the fourth one. So we have interview podcast,
Conversational, education,
and
narrative.
Yes.
So what the fifth one?
So the fifth one is we have news and current affairs podcast. Short, sharp, and informative. These podcasts help you to stay updated with what's happening around the world. Think the Daily by the New York Times or BBC Global News Podcast. Perfect for people who want news without scrolling endlessly on their phones. Like, you guys know about the 24 horas.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's the example of news and current
So,
affairs.
its main focus is the news.
Yes, like
So what's happening?
what's happening around the world, they talk about it.
We talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, especially here in Cebu, no, in Patag, there's like the sudden killings. Me and John Labadal live there, and
You know that person?
But where what they call this, the knife chase, it happened really right outside our house.
Right outside their house.
I mean, not really outside, but like where I ride the jeep, going to school. I can really see where the dead person.
The jeep stop, right?
Yeah, the jeep stop. So that is something like the podcast, the news and news and current affair podcast talk about the what's happening around.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
like,
the fifth one.
That's the fifth one.
that's the fifth one. And then the next one is documentary or investigative podcast. These go deep into real stories, crime cases, social issues, mysteries, and more. Examples: Dirty John or The Missing Crypto Kid. Yun na guys, familiar with it.
Oh, like some 44.
Yeah. They're like detective. They're like detective.
Can you explain?
Like,
What's that?
Some 44.
Yeah.
Those were the soldiers like some.
oh, I watched it. It's so very.
I'm not familiar with that. I'm not really a big fan of documentaries. I find it like
Can you tell us
a
about
little
some 44?
slow paced.
the the soldiers like they're like conscious in like war until they won.
Well, is that a documentary? Like this?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
a
listen to that.
documentary like the
They documented the
I think-
lives of the
yeah that's
soldiers.
the one example like do you know guys the investigador
Oh,
Investigador.
the TV shows.
the TV shows in GMA or
I'm feeling left out. I'm not familiar with that.
Investigador like around 4 p.m. they show like they investigate the crime scene, like the people raped, they investigate then they know what or like Jessica Soho.
And then they're like sharing it to the public. For,
Yeah,
for awareness
Jessica
and-
Soho is it's an example of documentary or investigative podcast. Like you get it now.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
kind of
the word documentary.
Yeah, they document like
Document what's happening.
yeah.
Happening around.
But like, in terms of crime scenes.
Yes, crime scenes.
Crimes.
No,
No, not all about, not all about,
Because
not all
that
about
can be in
crimes.
the news.
Yes, like they investigate like the constructor.
Is that part of the documentary? I think no.
Yeah, it's part. You know why? They investigate where the money. They
If someone made a documentary, I think
Yeah.
that would be a part of the
yes,
podcast.
all documentaries. It's part of this podcast.
So basically, documentary or investigative podcast talks about a case and they investigate
Yeah.
the case. Okay.
No, from what I understand, documentary is they document for us to know.
Yeah, that's what.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah, okay.
For us to know.
Yeah.
We were aware about that. So,
So-
what's the next one?
So next,
So we have one is What's the first one?
So we have
Interview
podcast,
podcast,
Conversational.
conversational, educational,
Narrative.
narrative,
and news,
News.
and
and
sixth one is
one is documentary.
so we have 6. So we're on the seventh one.
Yeah, seventh one is scripted fiction podcast. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay.
I just
from the coffee.
yeah, from the coffee, guys. We're drinking coffee right now. Like,
So shout out to
So,
shout out to Coffee Bean Tea
for
Life.
sponsoring this venue. So we're really sorry for the background noise. It's the only place that we can be together. So yeah.
So yeah, let's talk all about scripted fiction podcast. So imagine an audio drama with sound effects, voice actors, and full-on story. Shows like The Magnus Achieve or Homecoming make you feel like you're inside the story itself. Super immersive.
So that's the seventh. That's the seventh.
the eighth one. What is the eighth one?
So the last but not the least.
Let's wait. Okay,
Wait.
wait.
So noisy out here.
So noisy out here is coffee and bean. Next.
So last but not the least, hybrid podcast. These are mix of everything. Interviews, storytelling, research, all rolled into one. Like This American Life or Radio Lab, you know, familiar?
I'm not Radio Lab.
Yeah,
What is that?
it's like a Radio Lab.
Radio
The
Lab.
laboratory
Lab.
radio.
Not love, but love.
Lab.
Really,
Laborat-
not love.
I
Not
thought
love.
it was
Are you in
love.
love?
No, my name is John Love.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's dynamic, creative, and always surprising.
okay, so a mixture of different types of styles.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's like from the word itself, hybrid.
hybrid. Like,
So,
Combinations
combination.
of other
Yeah.
types of podcasts. Okay, so
Exactly.
interview, storytelling, and so on.
So it focuses on different parts like interviews plus storytelling plus narrative.
yeah.
Wait, so what we're doing right now is a hybrid of conversational and at the same time
Educational and hybrid.
hybrid podcast. This is a hybrid podcast.
Okay, so yeah. So now that we know that, that's the 8 types of.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, can we summarize everything for the audience? Okay, so let's go to the beginning.
The first one is
Interview
Interview.
podcast where the host invites the guests, experts, influencers, or ordinary people and ask questions about a specific topic.
Yeah.
Mainly for like their experiences. Because we all know that each and every one of us has different experiences. So they interview people. So that's the interview podcast.
Yes.
Next we have conversational
Conversational.
co-hosted podcast. These are when 2 or more co-hosts discuss together topics, often with humor and casual banter. Like what
so,
we're doing
so
right
from
now.
the word
we are-
from the word co-hosted. So there are 2 or more
Yeah.
hosts.
Conversational. And its purpose is to create friendly and engaging tone for listeners.
Oh,
Are they engaged with us or do you,
maybe.
do you guys understand us? Okay, so and the next we have the educational podcast where the host explains concepts and teach lessons or explore academic and practical knowledge. Okay, so that's for the educational podcast and its main purpose is to educate, inform and educate the listeners in an accessible way.
Like TED Talks.
Yeah, TED Talk. Yeah, TED
That's
Talks. Okay, that's the third. And for the fourth, we have
Fourth is narrative.
narrative or storytelling,
Storytelling
podcast.
podcast.
This is where you tell a story, either fictional or non-fictional, like documentaries or true crime stories. Like you just narrate it. Its purpose is to entertain and emotionally engage the audience through narrative. Our main word is narrative. That's the fourth, and for the fifth, news and current affairs podcast, where you deliver the latest headlines, the news, what's happening in a certain place, something like that. And its purpose is to keep listeners informed on a regular basis. So its main purpose is to inform. Are you listening?
Yeah.
That's the fifth. Okay, so for the sixth, we have documentary or
Documentary
podcast.
Okay, so deep dives into real life stories or investigations about social issues, crimes, or mysteries. Its purpose is to uncover facts and share interviews, and present in that research. This is
For us to know and for us to be aware.
for us to be aware on a certain case. For example, like the news. Diba they tackle about the news in a certain place, like in general. But documentaries or investigative podcasts, they take a certain case and they dig deeper.
Yeah.
So do you get it now? Because documentaries can be part of the news. But like, the contents of the documentaries can be part of the news. But when we say investigative podcast, they really dive deeper in a certain case.
Okay, now I know. Now that you know,
For the
I
seventh,
understand now.
now we have the seventh, the scripted fiction
Fiction podcast.
like an audio drama. It includes actors, sound effects, and original scripts, like brand new ideas, to create a fictional drama. And its purpose is to create fictional stories purely for entertainment. And the next is a hybrid
The last
podcast.
one.
And the last one is the hybrid podcast.
Like mix.
A mix of different styles such as
So
interviews,
from the word
plus
hybrid.
hybrid. Yeah, what we're doing right now is somewhat a conversational and at the same time educational. So we will just show it in the screen. Here, editor. These are the types of podcasts. So that's it. That's,
That's it.
for the types of
That's it.
podcasts, right? Now that we've tackled the 8 types of podcasts, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. What if you're gonna start a podcast, what type of podcast would it be and why? I'll start since I'm the one to ask. I want my podcast to be just like this, conversational, because I want it to feel natural, and relatable, old school. Like I want to talk about topics that really interest me, or something like I really want. Example, just like us, the conversations we have in school, where we cannot catch up with the lessons. I want to talk about those things, and like since I'm seeing people who are posting their opinions or something, I also want to try that. For example, um, food. I'm gonna ask you a question.
I love that.
What is your favorite food and why?
My favorite food is, for me, I think it's adobo. It's the natural food of Filipino.
Cut.
Cut. For me, I think caldereta. You know caldereta? Yeah. So good, like caldereta.
Is that your favorite food?
Yeah, because that's one of
What
my
caldereta? Beef, pork, chicken.
I love beef because that's the one, my favorite one. That because my Lola cooks that for me. Yeah,
What is it? If we're talking about food, if we're talking about Filipino dishes, for me, I think beef steak with potato. Do you know beef steak? Beef
Yeah,
steak, though.
I
With
love beef
potatoes, right? And it really depends on the mood. Diba, would you eat caldereta every day?
no.
Diba, like a certain, when you're feeling the mood ka. But for me, the topmost part, I think beef steak. Because it's really, when the meat is tender, juicy, and with potatoes.
Ooh, sheesh.
Ito na. Okay, so that is one thing that.
How about you? So for me, I think I would choose educational.
That's for the podcast. It's a good podcast.
Yes, because for me, I love sharing ideas that helps people learn something new. And whether it's about mental well-being, science facts, or real-world lessons.
So
But
you want to share your, like, what is it?
I want to share educational.
How about educational, like for example, mental health? You want to share
How people
Go
deal with
that.
it and cope with it.
ah, is there someone in your life who was, like, who's
Like-
feeling like, mentally down? You want to help him or her?
So I don't know.
But you want to try to.
I want to, but maybe next time.
It's okay. You're not forced to start a podcast. What about you? What podcast do you do?
If me, I think it would be documentary or investigative podcast.
Why? Why?
Because we thought it would be cool to explore real stories, like investigate something, document something.
Would you see yourself like
Yeah, because that's my
no? Would you see yourself like going to crimes? Not
yes, yes, yes.
it's really interesting.
That's my one of my dream job.
Well, you're not scared to put yourself at risk. Like you said, you want to go
Yeah,
to like crimes,
but-
and then what if like
I love it. That's my that's from the heart. From the heart.
okay, so you're a risk taker.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay. So that's a
Like
good.
current issues, social topics, or inspiring journeys of people around us.
So okay, okay.
It's not just about giving information, but also showing real emotions and truth. Like you investigate something, then came up to through. So you want to uncover truth from document.
Oh. Okay, so but right now we're gonna ask you. I'm content with what I have right now. So, like we're talking right now. We're enjoying the moment. We're talking about. Yes, we're talking about podcasts, but sitting here and enjoying the air,
The ambience of
the ambience, yeah, the ambience of the place, the drinks. I'm contented with this. So that is something that I'm happy with right now.
So that's all for the different types of podcast.
And now, do you guys have any idea on how to structure a podcast?
Okay, for that, I think I have since again I want back then I really want to start a podcast. I have some like basic ideas on how to start a podcast because not really advanced because I didn't really pursue that. But I believe the first part, just think of it as a burger. You have the top part, that is the intro. So it usually consists of 2 to 5 minutes introduction. You can introduce your podcast team, your members, like what we did earlier. Like something like that. And this is where you grab your listeners' attention because who would want to watch a video so bland, diba? Would you watch a video so bland? Well, diba? You want there's a hook, something that will hook you into watching that video. So I'm really vulnerable. I'm not vulnerable. Like, I'm really into
So your main focus is to entertain the listener,
to hook
to hook the attention.
attention to this. That's part of the introduction. And of course, for introduction, you will show your brand name. That's what we can do here. We are the
Backseat Boys.
So, but that is something that you will see in the intro. And of course, after your brand name, we introduce, like, of course, we introduce each of the hosts. Yeah, we introduce the name of the host. So that's how simple the intro is. That's the top part of the construct of the podcast. Now next, the contents, like the burger, the patties itself, the lettuce. This is where the main content starts. Okay, do you guys have any ideas about what main contents? I mean, like
Main contents.
yeah. So this is where, let's say, the good stuff. So this is like where 15 to 45 minutes of talk.
Is that the main content of the podcast?
Yeah, this is the main, like what you did earlier, diba? We introduce our brand, we introduce ourselves, then we dive as soon as after we introduce, we dive directly to the podcast.
What's the history of podcast?
Podcast or the type of podcast. Those are part of the main content. So this is really the core of your episode. This is something that you will talk about. You have intro, but
That's where the podcast starts.
yeah, this is the content. Yeah, not really the podcast. Yeah, something like that. This is where you call this or something like that. This is where you start. Yeah, but something you start. I'm not gonna exaggerate this anymore. This is the main part of the podcast. This is where you engage people. This is where you engage the audiences with the audiences and with your co-host. Okay, so you break it down into parts. So just talk normally. You're not gonna talk randomly.
Just like what we're doing
Yeah.
earlier.
You have a flow. You have a flow of what you're gonna talk about. Kasi you're gonna talk about, for example, food. Then later on, you're gonna talk about like what happened. Like you're gonna talk about um, politics now. Because there's a conflict. It came from food, then straight up politics. There's no flow. There's no transition. So transition is important when you're starting a podcast. For example, transition, di ba? Transition from types of podcast to how to structure podcast. So that's how easy it is. And you're gonna use stories, like we're gonna use stories like what we did earlier, like respect
To engage the audiences.
to engage the audiences. And don't be afraid to make mistakes, you know, like what I did earlier. I did like a mistake one last time. So just talk normally, just correct it. But don't make mistakes na intentional, something like that. And keep it focused. If you're feeling that you're going out of topic, you just go back. Like, you
You relax.
yeah, you relax lang. You just don't exaggerate too much on the topic.
Don't panic, guys.
It's okay. Don't panic, it's organic.
Don't panic. It's organic.
Okay, so and for the bottom one, this is the bottom one.
Okay, continue.
So this is the bottom one. So this is where the outro. Again, usually like 2 to 5 minutes para lang to conclude everything that you talked about and to let the audience know that the podcast is ending. Kasi pag about podcast, you're watching a podcast, siya end. Otherwise,
It's not like
it's
that.
like disrespectful and like unprofessional. So it's like to summarize, to conclude everything, and to if you want to give a brief
Brief explanation about that.
what you're gonna talk about
what's
next. Yeah, for the next episode. Diba? That is just something. That's what I know for the how to structure a podcast. And for the let's talk about the setup part.
Set apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we did right now, just have a phone
Phone and a laptop.
a tripod, not necessarily a laptop. You know, you just need ideas. That's the main part.
Yeah.
Ideas. But make sure what we're gonna talk about is something that is true. If you're gonna talk about something that you didn't back this up, then you're misleading the audiences. So it's make sure that when you're talking to someone, and if you're talking to an audience, people, make sure that what you're talking about is you know it and it's fact checked. Because if you're gonna talk about something that is not really true, so it's gonna mislead the people. So that's what I think. You don't really need. Do you really need like expensive mics for this?
So not really.
So guys, this is really easy to start a podcast. This is like a step for people like us, boys at the back, where we have a lot of conversations we want to share for the people, but like they're shy or like you think it's hard. It's really easy to start a podcast. You can talk about with your friends, something more something more into politics. So that's for
That's for the.
that's how you
structure the podcast. How you set up the podcast.
But that's how you structure the actual podcast. But like the setup part, all you need is like a mic. You should invest more on the audio rather than the video, because if you invest something on more on the quality of the camera, and if you cannot hear what you're talking about, it's just like random dudes just talking.
Podcast is useless if
Yeah, it's useless. So that's what I think.
So, what's the next part of the structure?
The next part.
Yes.
Oh yeah, YouTube. Diba, you mentioned earlier
Also,
that
so you need to make a YouTube page.
not really YouTube. Yeah, it depends on the person. Because the first, I'm gonna post this on YouTube because we have a brand. But then you mentioned earlier that you can watch a podcast anywhere, right?
Yes.
You can watch it on TikTok, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast. But we chose YouTube because it's accessible and something like that. So I think that concludes our podcast.
Wait, can I add something? Like, as you said earlier that in podcast we need microphone, right? Yeah, I think it's not necessarily that we need microphone because our technology now is like growing. Then when you go to CapCut, guys, you can easily click the noise cancellation, like the audio mix more clearly to understand. Like we don't need necessarily to have microphone, right? So if we have one, it's good,
But I think we should not really pressure that. We cannot start a podcast because we don't have microphones.
Yeah.
No, we can start a podcast with our phone. That's what we're doing right now. Or we just
it's so noisy out here.
yeah, just bear with us because we did not yet invest in an actual microphone. Like if we're gonna invest in something, even though it's expensive, you know it's quality, then it's good. That's good. But for now, we're just gonna use our phones since we're broke. We don't have money.
We don't have money to buy microphone,
So
guys.
is that all for the
Structure? Yeah, that's how you structure a podcast. But that's not it. There is also how to publish your podcast. It's very easy. I'm just gonna make the video. The editor will show the clip of how you can publish. But based on my experience, it's really easy. Because did you know, guys, that I used to make YouTube videos about ML
Yeah.
during pandemic. It's weird.
you talk about that last year
Yeah.
during pandemic
Yeah,
time?
I'm feeling it because we're isolated at home, we don't have a phone. I want to become a content creator sa ML. I discovered that idea. I believe that I was not that good. So yeah. So what can you say for our viewers out there? For the people who are scared to try podcasts.
Don't be scared, guys.
Okay, one by one.
I think that-
What about you? Audience. Go.
First of all, I don't want you guys to be afraid to start a podcast because it's so very easy. Like, yeah,
You encourage them.
I encourage you guys to do podcast because it's
Just like us, we have conversations that we don't record, but we can share. Something like that.
you share something, your own your experiences, you can share the people's out there, right? So yeah, don't be afraid to start a podcast. Don't be afraid to start a podcast.
What about you?
What about you?
So, to know someone who want to start a podcast, this is my
This is our guide. This video is the guide for this.
Yeah.
so don't be scared. Just like what Tura said, just like what Prince said. Don't be afraid because don't overthink it, and also podcast is fun and podcast is fun and uh yes, entertaining.
Very entertaining.
You can learn a lot. You can learn a lot about podcasts. So just like what we're doing right now,
We have no experience.
we have no experience.
This is our first time podcast.
Okay, so what I can share to the viewers out there, to the people like us who have ideas that they want to share, don't be so hesitant. Don't be scared because it's really easy to start a podcast. Just make sure that
Be nervous, guys.
what you're gonna share is you're gonna back it up with context. Don't mislead people. Don't mislead people by saying wrong information. Before you say something, make sure it's fact checked. What you shared earlier, was it fact checked?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So don't be afraid to start your own podcast. It's really easy. So this video is for the people out there who are just like us, who have no experience in podcasts, but want to share our experiences outside school, inside school. So we just shared this with no experiences to show you guys that it's really easy to start a podcast.
Yeah, don't be shy, guys. This is your time to shine, and yeah, it's a time to like boost your confidence, to talk people's, no. Don't be afraid to judge
Just
or
speak
something.
Yeah, don't be. Yeah, what you said. Don't be afraid to judge.
Yeah.
We all have different opinions, but make sure your opinions are make sure that when you're gonna say something, it's there's content, not like people out there who just gonna say something wrong, diba? They're spreading. They know that you're spreading false information. So guys, I want to say that we're really sorry for the background noise. This is the only place that we can go together. So yeah.
And lastly, thank you for our sponsor, Coffee Bean, the sponsor of
So for
this
sponsoring
project.
this. So
Come
that's
visit, come visit Coffee Bean, guys, because it's so
It's
they're
so affordable and the taste is good. 10 over 10.
okay, so I think that concludes our video. So
thank you everyone.
once again, we are the Backseat Boys.
Once again, we are the Backseat Boys.
So thank you for listening, and this will be our first ever video to show you guys that it's easy to start a podcast. So thank you for listening.
And also, don't forget to subscribe to our
Share, subscribe to our channel. We will meet you soon, guys.
We will be posting our next video soon. We're gonna talk about food.
Yeah.
Okay. For the next episode. So thank you for everything, guys.
So that's all. Thank you, Coffee Bean.